Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jack, you are a professional game master. This channel is proudly sponsored by the following publishers. First of all, Mythos Games, with the Eros Engine core rulebook. This is a standalone tabletop RPG, but it's also an add-on to apply to any other tabletop RPG. It puts great emphasis on romance, passion, and the physicality of intimate encounters. This channel is also proudly sponsored by Dead Tree Studios, the publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop role-playing game where you play as monster girls experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. They have also released the Daughters of Lamb, Pay What You Want tabletop RPG where you get to play as cybernetic nuns with guns, looking for the missing pieces of their AI god. Next, we have the Red Room Publishing. Please check out their store for exclusive tabletop RPG products and check out their free tabletop RPG, the Red Roleplaying Game, a generic system that is able to handle any sort of theme, genre, flavor, setting that you can think of. Definitely check out all of the links to these amazing publishers. They will be in the descriptions and in the pinned comment as well. Now, a moment please while I maximize. Hmm, Okay, today, I wanted to talk about the recent Vampyrvania session because it highlights something that is very important in tabletop role-playing games when compared to video games. This video is going to contain spoilers, of course. If you haven't seen that campaign, please check out the playlist in the description. But despite being a Castlevania-inspired tabletop RPG, that is a video game-inspired tabletop RPG, in tabletop role-playing games, you can do so many things that you cannot otherwise do in video games. Not only is everything colored through your imagination, and don't get me wrong, this is not to say that tabletop RPGs are superior to video games in every way. They are superior to video games in immersion. But when it comes to that combination of analog controls, of being skilled at moving your thumbs, or if you're using the keyboard or whatever, while enjoying graphics, sound, etc., that's why you play video games. You want the combination of all of that. It is a form of entertainment, but it can also reach an art form. Well, so it's if you like that you are definitely going to be for video games, right? I still play video games even to this day. They are a major feature of my channel. But when it comes to complete immersion, that's tabletop RPGs because they are completely powered by your imagination. Everything is powered by your creative mind. If it's not programmed in the video game, you cannot do it. And even if it were, if you had the video game with everything programmed like that, there are no amounts of graphics, stimuli, etc. through electronic means that can match the power of the human mind. Can get close, but not enough. So in the case of tabletop RPGs, imagine a tabletop role-playing game that has so many elements borrowed from video games because there has always been that feedback, that loop between video games and tabletop RPGs. Now you can take those spells, those weapons, those abilities, those powers, and use them in all sorts of creative ways. And that's what Yukiro, Nikos, and Juan did during the session. They created so many amazing things. When Nikos used his holy water and Juan had the idea of freezing the water for holy ice. Now you have holy ice. And even it was such a slippery floor because of the ice that the werewolf they were fighting slipped and fell. And there were so many other instances, right, throughout the session, but I think the boss fight was like the peak moment. And then Yukiro came up with the idea of Juan using his earth spell, the earth grimoire, to encase the legs of the werewolf with the ground itself, with the soil, with the earth. And so it was easier to hit this werewolf that was so agile, so fast, moving from side to side, jumping, slashing, biting, cutting. So it was great teamwork on the three of them against such a powerful foe. And you could tell by the way that they were fighting that this enemy needed the full offense strategy. In the case of other bosses, like for example the fight against the bat, when Yukiro was a bit more defensive, and the other Nikos and Juan were jumping, concentrating completely on getting from platform to platform to be in a safe position. That was a very more defensive fight as opposed to this werewolf combat. You needed to finish him off quickly because the more he got hurt, the stronger he became. So, what a great example, right, of doing combination attacks in a very creative way. There are some Castlevania games, such as Portrait of Ruin, where you can have this sort of combo type of attacks, right? I think it was only Portrait of Ruin, but still, like I said, they were very narrow in that they were programmed into the game. If you wanted to use your ice spell or your fast attacks with your sword, your whip, your spear in other creative ways, because there are so many grimoires and weapons in that game, and you still have the vampire killer, the whip, of course. But if you wanted to wield those weapons or those spells in a different way, you cannot do it because it is not programmed into the game. But with tabletop RPGs, there is no limit. Your limit is your imagination. And so a great session overall. Great performance, great actions undertaken by Juan, Nikos, and Yukiro. They displayed how in tabletop role-playing games you have to be in that situation. You have to be there. It's not You're not telling stories about your characters. You are not having a conversation about your characters. You are there in the moment, in the now, and you need to do something because otherwise your character's life is forfeit, right? So yeah, a super enjoyable session. Only two stages left. Let's see if they complete the game. They are at the Vampire Lord's castle. So that's going to be very exciting, don't you think? Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was informative and entertaining. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the Super Thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, it is better to roleplay and fail in character than not to roleplay and fail as a player. Once again, thank you and see you later.